Hi everyone, welcome. My name's Anne-Marie. This is Tarot with Anne-Marie. We're looking tonight at another Major Arcana card. And that Major Arcana card is the Chariot. And we are fusing that with other cards so you learn how to actually give some in-depth answers to the burning questions that we all have with tarot. Show you how to actually combine those cards so that you can start reading with real confidence. So here we are with the Chariot, and I've picked for you the Ace of Swords. What does it mean? You've got the Chariot. It's all about domestic side of things. It's the fourth house in astrology, and it's about the home. And when the Ace of Swords comes in, it's always something new. In this case, it's about the thoughts or about the communication. So the Chariot and the Ace of Swords is perhaps something is going on for this person where they've got new ideas about their home. Maybe they've come up with an idea about the home front and their family, and it could be to do with modifying the home, even making a move. Oh, maybe we should move. Maybe we should freshen the place up. This kind of thing. So it's a thought. It doesn't mean they're going to do it. It's just telling us that they are having thought. And they're probably sharing those thoughts with others because the Ace of Swords is all about communication. As I said, doesn't mean they're going to do it. Why? Because Ace of Swords is all about the mental process and thinking it through, being able to put the idea together, and it's something to do with the home front. Could be the family, but nothing directly in the Chariot is about that. The Chariot's a card of willpower. It's also a card of joy, and it's also a case of feeling that there's a duality going on there. Same as with that Ace of Swords, you've got the dual side of the sword. So it's looking at things in a really good perspective. The thoughts are actually not just the, shall we say, the fluffy sort of good bits. They're probably taking this into consideration for the things that could be going wrong. Oh, it might cost money. Maybe it'll be a waste. Maybe we should think about moving. Maybe we should do the place up. Oh, there's a whole load of money. And if we move, someone else gets a benefit. Should we do it? Shouldn't we? So they're probably very balanced in their thinking about what's going on in the home front. When it comes to this card, it's also about Cancerians. There's any Cancerians in your life, it's showing that maybe you need to actually begin new communication with a Cancerian. If you are a Cancerian, it's about what's your new thoughts about. And are you in a place where you are willful enough to actually make a decision based upon what you're thinking and maybe communicate that with others? Tarot to be shared and to help you on your journey to see things a bit differently, to learn something maybe new or remind you of something that you already know. Or if you're a beginner and you're curious, to know that tarot is actually something that can actually give you direction in your life and help you move forwards with things you want to do. So it's a bit like having impartial advice. It's not about destiny and fate and all of that. The cards are always about free will, but it's a bit of a GPS to be able to say, if I continue navigating in the way that I have been doing, what's the likely outcome based on the current background effects? That's what it's all about. So, Chariot and the Three of Swords. Three of Swords is a card that is always about the past. So, whenever this comes up in a reading, even if it's in a position of the future or something that's the influences around you, maybe it's in the physical self, maybe it's in the emotional, maybe it's in the mental, maybe it's in the spiritual, maybe in the subconscious or the conscious. And by the way, what I'm talking about is the spread that I use and the positions in that spread so that you can define if this comes up. Let's say that our querent, which is the person that's having the reading, keep reminding you of that word, asks us, as we've been doing week in, week out, I want to know a little bit about my career. And the Chariot comes up here with Three of Swords. And it comes up, let's say, in their own position. And in their own position, you'd be thinking, well, what's this got to do with their career? What this might be talking about, the Chariot is matters on the road. It's also about home. So maybe this is telling you that this person in the past struggled with journeys to and from work. Maybe it was too far. Maybe it was something where it wasn't convenient. And maybe too long on the road to get to work, one way, going to work, coming back, and taking its toll on the home life. That's what I would say if that was coming up. Don't make the mistakes from the past. It's not turning around and saying, oh, it's full of heartbreak, but it's saying that there's been problems, things that actually made them feel very sad, things that upset them, have disturbed the domestic front. So if this was about career, and that person says, oh, that's not helping me about what I need to do with my career. Oh, yes, it is. Because it's talking about one of the very big, real things, which is, you know what? When you go to work, working from home even, this person could have been working from home and found it very difficult. Maybe they felt pulled in two different directions. Where do we get that from? That black and white sphinx at the front there. Maybe our Karen is a Cancerian. And maybe they are saying, oh gosh, I feel pulled in two directions. Working from home wasn't for me. Or could be the opposite. This is about journeys. Remember, the chariot is about journeys on the road. So if it was a question about work, what the heck has the chariot got to do when it's all about home domestic matters? It's probably saying that in the past, when they've worked, it's not worked out really well, when it's brought them nothing but sadness and sorrow and heartbreak. Maybe they felt that they were away from their family too long. Maybe they felt that they were around their family and there were problems because they weren't able to actually decipher between the two. You know, sometimes you've got your home and sometimes you've got your work. And it's really hard. I know that I work from home, as in to have the discipline to actually put yourself into a space and be almost like everyone's offering you, oh, come and play, come and do this, come and do that, and judging you for not doing so takes an awful lot to actually go, no, thank you. There's something I've got to do. And you're torn. So this is probably what's been going on in this person's mind. Why the mind? It's the mind, not the emotion. It's not an emotional thing because it's a sword. The sword, it's all to do with the thoughts. So this is, I keep saying this because so often readers say, are you going to feel this? You may feel it coming from the chariot, but that second card is telling you the effect. The effect is mental. So we need to stick with the subject of the chariot, which is the home, and whether it's been a good thing to work from home or whether it's actually been heartbreaking to leave home for so long. Maybe they are on the road for several hours. I've heard of people traveling 3-4 hours one way just to get to work, an 8-hour day. Imagine that, 6 hours on top of that. You actually wonder how they've got the stamina to do it. It can be heartbreaking. And most definitely, I have read of people like that. So I'm telling you, I've seen this come up before, but it's their mental state. It's also what they're communicating. So maybe they're actually going to be decisive. I can't do that again. So that's where the Three of Swords is, where I'm saying it's happened in the past. It's not a new thing. Could be presenting itself, but they are looking at the past and going, that wasn't so great. I'm not happy with that. Let's go for this one. So the Chariot and the Six of Swords. Chariot and the Six of Swords. This is about progressing. It's saying, look, there's progress. And the dispatch of things, and the reason I'm saying that is we've got two movement cards. The Chariot is movement on the road, and the Six of Swords is movement, as in over water. So we've got the element of water coming in there, but it's not really significant because, again, it's a sword, and sword is the mental thing. But when mentally we're affected, emotionally we're affected too, aren't we? But what this is about is you're going to think things through. Things are starting to come together for you. You've got a little bit of help here. How do we know that? Six of Swords is always about somebody just stepping into your life temporarily, helping you change the way you think by something they've said or by allowing you to talk. So sometimes maybe they've just listened and that's been enough for you to go, do you know what? I heard myself and I think I've got the answer now. It's been one of those aha moments. And the Chariot, it's about how it's affecting them at home and their domestic front. And we're talking about work. The question is, what's going to happen in my career? Good things are happening. You're making progress. The home front will be fine. The work front will be fine. Why? because somebody's helping you out. Oh, do I know this person? This might just be a third party that's come in, maybe an agency, maybe a friend that listened, maybe you let off steam to your loved ones at home and they heard you and you suddenly, as I said, had that eureka moment. But what it's saying is you're making progress and it's good for you. And it's really nice for your home life. It's going to work out well. But mentally, you are in a good space. Ace of Wands, we change the suit. And when we change the suit, we are changing what the background effect is having on our current. And our current is saying it's happening for me at work. So we've got things dispatching in a good way. We know that from the chariot. This person's willful. So there are aspects of the chariot. What aspects of the chariot? If you're not sure, watch Thursday's video about the chariot. It tells you everything about that card that you could actually possibly want to know. This is the fusion of how to use that card, having shown you the meanings and the symbology, which is what we do on a Thursday. On Tuesdays, we actually use the card that we used on Thursday and show you how to work with it. And that's what we're doing here. So the Ace of Wands, a new opportunity. All aces are new opportunities. The last ace we had was Ace of Swords. So it's a new opportunity, a new way of thinking, a new beginning to do with thoughts, to do with our mental process, to do with our communication. So everything we had before was the influences that was going on about how we were thinking. If we talk to somebody, we think differently. Or maybe when we've heard ourselves talking to someone else, we reevaluate things differently. It's the difference between the Ace of Swords, and the Ace of Swords is looking at the positive and the negative, because the sword can cut two ways. So it's double-edged. The Ace of Wands, however, is totally different. What we've got here is we have got something of action, a new active role. And Ace of Wands, by the way, is always a new job offer, whether they want it or not. It's something being offered to you, a new project, something linked with work, always. And you might go, oh, I don't get that. You're probably asked to do things. Do you want to join in this? And a new door would open if you did. For example, do you want to join our group? We're singing. And before you know it, you've been asked to do something, a little bit of work for them. You may write something and you join in as in it's voluntary. Doesn't mean, hey, a job offer didn't come through the door this week. It's stepping stones. Look at those little buds, those little leaves. They are little tiny things. They all add up to something. The hand is, I'm offering you something. The cloud is, there's not always the clarity that we might want there to be. We might not always have that clarity. There are things hidden. Oh, they didn't offer me a job, so that's that. You didn't turn around and give your time voluntarily either, did you? So therefore, that opportunity passed you by. The chariot, of course, is somebody that's very sensitive, it's Cancerian energy, it's an aspect of that person. And so it's about domestic matters. This person is saying, gosh, I've been offered a new job opportunity. I would say with the chariot there, it's something that they are very capable of. They've got the willpower to make this happen. Any opportunities, all those little buds, all those little leaves, what do they mean? If you've got the chariot and that's an aspect of you, it means you're determined by sheer sort of the mental aspect that you're going through, the emotional connection that you're actually having towards this. You're going to go through it. The chariot's all about stamina, willpower. If you're on a diet and you get the chariot, great one to bring up. I should have asked the question tonight, will my health and nutritional routine, I lose a couple of pounds or get fitter and get healthier and on New Year's resolutions. Will I do it? The answer on this would be yes, you're determined. So that is what this combination means. It's regardless, you've got to look at the question. The chariot is all about determination, willpower. So if it's a case of you wanting to know how things are going to go, you've got the willpower to do it. Based on the chariot alone, you wouldn't know you've got it. What are you going to do with it? The Ace of Swords told us, running, let's think about it. Thinking about it doesn't make it happen. Ace of Wands makes it happen. So this is a definite, yeah, there's action here. This person's going for it. This combination is, again, if our person was asking the work question and they're saying, I want to know what's happening at work. Is there any progress? And it's actually, there is. And there's action here. But you know what? You haven't got all the pieces yet. You're really weighing up a way to make this happen. And it's going to happen, but it's not here yet. Why? Because there's a gap in that action. It's not here yet. You might need, and he's looking at the globe, the world, you might need to look at all of that information, do your research to actually turn around and go, yeah, this is going to happen. I'm going to join these two things together and we're going to create. And that would be our next card, a three of wands. We haven't got three of wands here at the moment. We've only got the two, but they're actively going to do the research. They're going to turn around and they're willful. They're going to make it happen. So they are searching for ways in which they can find something, maybe of a crutch, because look, he's holding that baton, that wand in his hand, which actually signifies that he needs something to help him along, something to hold on to, something that's growth, and also maybe to use some of the old ways, maybe a fusion of both of them, and also bringing things up to date because he's looking at that world and actually saying, I've got to do some research here. Where can I find this information? In this modern day, not probably could be a research from books or the internet, of course. Now, I said, let's just do both questions. So let's say that this person was saying, Karen, is my fitness plan going to work this year? I'm going to ask, is what I've got in mind to lose a couple of pounds and get back and be healthy. What to do, I would say, with sometimes we want to feel better, we want to feel more well, and we actually want to give ourselves the absolute maximum chance to be able to do that. So if somebody was saying, oh, I'm going to lose some weight, it's just going to actually work out for me, the answer here is, you're actually looking in the right direction. You're going to do it. There's a little bit of gap in your knowledge at the moment. You actually need to explore outside of yourself. Now, what would that mean? The two of wands. It's not just you. That's what this is saying. And the chariot is the one more sensitive. I'm thinking this and I'm thinking that, and I could go in two different directions because of that duality. And I really want to stay at home and do it. Do some research, maybe on the internet, look at what's there and see what help you can get. And I would actually say, because you've got the chariot and it is a home card, the person probably does want to actually do this from home. So this might be signing up for a class, as in all the slimmings, but it's also you actually need to reach to something to actually give you that crutch to help. So this might be joining a club, slimming club of sorts. Maybe this is working as an out at home, which is what I do. Got my bike, I swim, I walk my dogs. But what I haven't been doing is I haven't been on my Pilates machine and I haven't been on my exercise bike. We've changed the next card, and I know it's the Three of Wands, but I did talk about it. Now there's a little bit of a gap, but not so big. And maybe you've joined an organization to help you get work. We're going back to the work question, everybody. And the current's saying, what about work? As you've been very creative and you've got a third party involved here. This is looking good for you. Let's bring it to the fact that this person wants to work from home. Why are we getting that? The Chariot home card. Yeah, they probably want to work from home. They probably want to be with their nearest and dearest, or they don't want to be too far away from home. If you go back to the video that I did last week, I was talking all about the fact that the Chariot, if you read it, quite often it talks about local dispatch of things under an hour's journey. Temperance, on the other hand, is flights. Temperance card talks about flights, usually international. It can be domestic, of course, for those that live in a vast country like the US. Quite often, that's how you can tell. And by the way, if you do my courses, boy, I can teach you a lot geographically. We can talk about different countries, what countries we're talking about, continents. There's all of that. This system that I learned years ago and modified and made it my signature course by exploring it in even more depth. Creative, Three of Wands, creating. Let's say this person is like you, or want to be tarot reader, or they are a tarot reader already. Either way. And the question is about work. Am I going to make progress? Yes, you're being incredibly creative. You're using third parties, but you're also in a position here of working out something that's different. The difference is that third parties come in and it's helping you. Yeah. And that person helping you, you've got to work out how much they're involved. That's what the Three of Wands is about. You want to go out and go bigger, but do you want to be working with a third party that probably has a lot more power or control? And that's why we've got that wand here and the two on the other side. So it's, do you want to be in a working sort of partnership with somebody? I work for you. I do a bit of work. I'm a tarot reader. I work for that platform. Or do you want to say, I'm quite happy to work with you, but you know what? I do my own work as well. And I'm calling the shots and that comes first and I'll work for you if I've got time. It's a bit like that. This is my website, and here's all the courses for you to see. You click on courses there, Tarot with Anne-Marie. There's Tarot Mastery, which is the Major Arcana, the court cards. We've got all the individual suits there for you, the advanced, but you would need to do the intermediate for the advanced, of course. But what's the difference? You'd find out as by looking at the actual website. Where are you at your tarot journey? And have you started? Do you already read? Are you struggling with anything? Okay. So as we saw tonight with the Chariot, that was the subject. What was the background effect? It was the cards that I was showing you that was going along with that. I can only teach you so much on YouTube. We've only got a short time together and it's a massive time of healing. I've drawn the Hermit card and I'm going to do it as in the other card I drew for us is the Ace of Cups, the Hermit card. And I will show you very quickly before I go. 2024. It's going into our healing journey ourselves. It's working really hard. It's finding out what we are going to be doing going forwards. We're looking for the answers, shining your light despite all of the difficulties that are there. Hermit is linked with Virgo. Virgo is our daily routine. It's also about the fact that we become incredibly intense in what we're doing and that we are able to distance ourselves from things that are not serving us well. We need order, we need routine, we need to be able to actually organize everything that we're actually doing in our lives. And we are also looking for seeking the answers. This is the vice versa. Tarot deck. Our other card is all about the gift of love, hope, joy, peace, and abundance. And that was the Ace of Cups. I think we better all get ready for everybody gathering together in our community in a spiritual way, because I think that gathering together and despite all the sadness that's in the world and the difficulties that go on, it's going to be one where we are trying to make sure that we make it as peaceful and as organized and as logical as we possibly can to be of service and duty. I'll leave you with that. Thanks very much for your time. Bye for now.